Hey guys, Dr. Prometheus here. Welcome back to some more of our Black Ice as Germany. We just annexed Austria the last episode, or the episode before that. We've started with... Who is this? Sudenland. After this, that's what we're going to do. But we're going tank research. And then I think we're going to take from here... I was thinking about this, and... I think we're going to go for this. This will give us another research slot. And then we'll do Sudenland. Okay, so we're forming the units. Here's the more there. And I've kind of tailored this to how I want to. So we need more horse transports. We'll need more tanks as time goes on, but I've completely put the priorities to fighters, horse transports, and trucks. Actually, we're on trucks. These trucks. So I need at least... What is that? 20 more factories right now. All right, we'll grab the Panzer IIIA. And it's going to replace the 2A, I think, right? Yes, the 2A, because the 2C is here. So it's going to replace the 2A. Okay, that's good. Engine capacity. There's blueprint stealing. Get anti-partisan right now because we'll need that. Yeah, there's the 45th. I think I might change that. All right, there's early tractors. Do I have an interceptor? I don't. We do have this though. Let's grab the next landing portion. We're probably not going to use it, to be honest, but we'll actually need it. From here, I think we go... Improve power plants. Okay. Can we do the Sudenland right now? I don't think we can, right? August 31st. Okay. Let's grab... Grab this. And the other fighter. Then we grab the Sudenland. I'd like to do this probably a little bit earlier than historic. Grab that motor cannon so we can get an interceptor. Actually, I'm not going to have an issue here. France, I'm going to have an issue here. In Belgium, I always do for whatever reason. Start putting collaboration governments together. Next couple of years. And then this is a slow tick, so there's no reason to keep pushing that. You know what we'll do? I'm going to take this. We'll take a research hit, but that is actually a smart one to take. There's steel. This is a better... That's a cavalry tank. That's why. With newer infantry equipment, we can funnel that through faster than what we can get. There's the E. Let's grab this. Still the engine production. I'm gonna actually be able to get both of these and then do Sudenland. The Argentine Nazis there. Slowly going through. All right. A Turkey and France friendship treaty. France and Turkey signed the Franco-Turkish Treaty of Friendship, affirming their sincere and strong bond. The treaty aims to strengthen their diplomatic relations and promote cooperation in various areas. Of particular significance is the inclusion of provisions addressing the HOI issue. Both countries expressed their commitment to resolving the territorial dispute concerning the region of HOI in a peaceful and mutually beneficial manner. This treaty sets the stage for constructive dialogue and cooperation in finding a resolution to this contentious issue. The signing of the Franco-Turkish Treaty of Friendship signifies a positive step towards regional stability and enhanced collaboration between France and Turkey. It is viewed as a notable example of diplomatic relations and paves the way for future opportunities and exchanges between the two nations. This is the period in mind. And here it is. I think it ends up being a demilitarized zone. There's a couple places we could probably fight there. Hmm. Get our mountain artillery. Actually, let's change that. That weekly stability. That should help us. General plastics. Corpse HQ radios. Airland battle. Engine capacity. Due to our aggressive foreign policy and rearmament program, General Ludwig Beck is speaking out against the Führer's plans. Such a high-ranking military leader is a powerful voice in opposition to us. We dare to allow this man to impede Germany's ascension. Must be removed. Is going up. It's per day. Actually, that should be pretty good. Force transport, though, is going to be an issue. Heavy artillery might be an issue. And then we'll do the Sudenland after this. Machine, 1938 Tour de France. I did not read that. If you want to read about it, it's out there. Okay. Truck radios. So if you can't filter these radios down as fast as possible. Okay. Mukin. I'll have a radar module. There's a light cruiser. Okay. We finally win that tile. All right, the Goering 4-year plan. Okay, we kind of already read that. Let's start the third year. So factory output goes down by 1%. Infrastructure, airbase, military factory, air assembly, and railway all go up, which is good. I'll change over to that next run. I don't want to press anything harder than I need to. We'll be smart about this. Seguro Ibero Massacre. Around 12:30 on September 5th, 1938, approximately 30 armed Yatsenuts affiliated with the National Socialist Movement occupied the Seguro Ibero building. Jose Luis Salazar, a Calbanero uniformed police who was on watch upon observing the situation, thought that the Nazis were concealing weapons under their coats and prepared to respond. However, a member of the Nazi movement who observed the reaction of the servicemen started to fire, mortally wounded Salazar. In reaction, a short while later, a crowd of Carboneros gathered at the foot of the building. Heavy firing between the opposing sides began. Gerald Gallmeyer, a Nazi youth, was killed. His companions resisted, but the Carboneros forces forced them to retreat. In the meantime, another 32 youths had occupied the central building at the University of Chile. This also culminated in a shootout, beginning at 0200 when an assault by the Carboneros took members of the National Socialist group by surprise. Those who surrendered were led with their hands up toward the Seguro Ibero a few blocks away. There they were informed that the attempted coup had already failed and were sent to convince their companions to lay down the arms on the condition that their lives would be respected. Nazi activists accepted the promise and surrendered. Although disarmed and captured, nearly 60 of the Nazis were lined up against the wall and shot, breaking the promise to respect their lives. Only 4 youths managed to escape death. The bodies were facially and bodily disfigured by deep wounds from sabers and bayonets. Disturbing. Disturbing. And once we get the planning bonus and everything, I'm going to push. Alright, Sudenland. The fate of the Sudeten Germans was one of the worst injustices inflicted by the Treaty of Versailles. They must be brought under our protection regardless of any possible objections. Okay. Allied anger will go up. Take us 37 days, but we'll take it. Tank. Is there anything worth engines? Ration production speed. 1938 New England hurricane. On September 9th, 1938, the New England region of the United States experienced terrible hurricanes worth 680 to 800 fatalities were estimated, and 306 million worth of damage caused. Unfortunate. There's improved power plants. Improved electrical grid. The next Panzer. Embargo on French Indochina. All right, 5 divisions. Issue recon equipment and light artillery. I think if we're able to capture this, Yugoslavia claims Bulgaria. I'm asking neither that Germany be allowed to oppress 3.5 million Frenchmen, nor am I asking that 3.5 million Englishmen be placed at our mercy. Rather, I am simply demanding that the oppression of 3.5 million Germans in Czechoslovakia cease, and that the inalienable right to self-determination take place. As heard at a speech earlier today, our government, and indeed our people, feel that the Sudenland rightfully belongs to Germany. As such, we have several options on how to engineer its rightful return: demanding it through diplomatic channels, attempting to bring Czechoslovakia into our orbit, or seizing it by force. Each of these options have their pros and cons, but we must be sure to take international opinion into account no matter what we do, lest we end up in a war not of our choosing. I'm going to demand it. Munich Conference. Talks have been held in Munich between the leaders of Germany, Britain, France, and Italy to discuss the future of Czechoslovakia. But the British and French have accepted our claims to the Sudetenland as legitimate, and their previous offers of support to the Czechs have been rescinded. Recognizing the hopelessness of their situation, the Czechs have surrendered the Sudetenland territories to us. Their oppressed German inhabitants will long be brought into the Vaterland. Today is historic for us. So Romania canceled the guarantee with Czechoslovakia, Greece, the Republic of Turkey, and Kingdom of Yugoslavia. Sudetenland, so we become the core and we get the annexation of the land. Munich Agreement. German demands for the Sudeten territory in Czechoslovakia, which is a home to a considerable German minority, have intensified. A summit held in Munich, Germany, Berlin, France, and Italy sought to find a diplomatic solution to the so-called Sudeten crisis. Czechoslovakia was not invited to attend. An agreement was reached in which Germany annexes the Sudetenland, but will not pursue any further territorial gains in Europe. Mr. Chamberlain spoke to the crowds in London for the second time. A prime minister has returned from Germany, bringing peace with honor. I believe it is peace for our time. Peace for now, at least. Until I ask for the rest of it. Which I will. All right, there's mechanized companies. I think I need logistics companies. Next. Yes, issue an ultimatum. We'll get that political power. Increase the or decrease that. Okay. What do I need for this? This would be January. Okay. If we take Madrid, that should be the end of that. Hmm. Okay, that should end. The Civil War should end. So we're not going to attack anything. In 1936, Himmler selected former Lieutenant General Paul Hauser to be appointed inspector of the SSVT with the rank of Brigade Führer. He set about transforming the SSVT into a credible military force that equaled the regular army and transformed the officer selected system. The school was opened in 1936 by Hitler and would use the regular army training methods and used former army officers as instructors to train the potential officers to be combat effective. So we get a couple generals and we get a building slot in a military factory in Upper Austria, which is actually good for us. Okay, we can't build there. Okay, good trade mission. Okay, I think we start doing this. The D chassis will be helpful. The 46th Infantry Division was formed in 1938 under the command of General Major Paul von Haas. It fought in the invasion of Poland in 1939, and the following year was engaged in fighting in France. It remained there until 1941 and then participated in the invasion of Yugoslavia in April. During the invasion of the Soviet Union, it was attached to Army Group South and marched to the Ukraine and into the Crimea. In March 1945, the division was designated a Volksgrenadier formation. The 46th Volksgrenadier Division, with its numbers defeated the division center of the Soviets in May 1945. Maybe we'll crit it. Panzer 4F, right? Oh, it's the Panzer 3F. Okay. Panzer 3F? Whoops. Okay. Engine capacity is going to be an issue. No, I need that to be higher than everything. Okay, Seeking just joined the Comintern. We decrease that. The Lima Conference. The Lima Conference held in Lima, Peru concludes with the adoption of a Declaration of American Solidarity. Representatives from American states gathered to reaffirm their commitment to share principles and the values that unite them as a continent. The Declaration emphasizes the spiritual unity achieved through Republican institutions, a resolute desire for peace, a profound sense of humanity, and tolerance and unwavering adherence to the principles of international law. Equal sovereignty of states, and individual liberty without religious or racial biases. The conference recognizes that respect for the personality, sovereignty, and independence of each American state is vital for maintaining international order and continental solidarity. It builds upon the previous declarations and agreements, including those of the Inter-American Conference for the Maintenance of Peace in Buenos Aires, which endorse the principles of inter-American solidarity and cooperation. In addition to the Declaration of American Solidarity, the conference issues a Declaration of American Principles. This declaration emphasizes the pressing need to uphold fundamental principles in international relations, emphasizing the preservation of world order under the rule of law, the pursuit of peace with justice, and the advancement of social and economic well-being for humanity. The Lima Conference serves as a significant milestone in strengthening the bonds between American nations, fostering cooperation, and promoting the shared values of peace, justice, and prosperity throughout the continent. I didn't realize how busy Roosevelt was in the American states just throughout that time period. Organization is pretty high on this. All right, Revere. All right, there it is. Now, how many radios are we short right now? Just as a matter of principle. I don't see it. There's a lot of recon equipment. For radios. Actually, let's do that. January 25th. Grab this. There goes the E. Get the interceptor. Force transports. Refit the Panzer. Massive Chilean earthquake. An earthquake of a magnitude of 8.3 struck central Chile, killing around 28,000 citizens, destroying 3,500 homes. Concepcion was the worst hit city, with almost all the city destroyed, making this the most destructive earthquake in all of Chilean history. In response, around 50 countries sent all kinds of things to help Chileans recover, with the Argentinian and Brazilians helping the most. Okay, we refit the 1, 2, and 3rd Panzer divisions. Okay. With the new Panzer 3s and 4's technology research, the new Panzer 3 and 4 comes available for the Panzer Division. Panzer 3 and 4 will be added to the OOB, the Order of Battle. Also, the engineers were trained in more offensive doctrines and were fitted as combat engineers. Okay. Those were changed up. With that in mind, I think I'm going to do... I think I'm going to promote a couple of generals to handle that. Okay, one thing I'm also going to do is I should do this now. It's going to be our MPs. going up, but I don't think we have enough. 400? Yeah, we don't have enough fighters. Battalion attack defend. Wolf packs. Maybe coordination. Question of the Czech state. Adolf Hitler has invited the Czechoslovakian president Emil Hacha to Berlin for this evening. After an unusually long waiting time, their meeting began. With Adolf Hitler revealing right away that his true intentions of dissolving and annexing the Czech state into the German Reich. Adolf Hitler threatened the Czech president with an aerial bombing of the Czech capital, Prague, unless Edvard Beneš ordered the Czechoslovakian army to offer no resistance to the impending invasion. Hearing Adolf Hitler's demands, Hacha suffered a breakdown and needed to be seen by a medic. Upon recovering, he could send orders to Prague. He'll be a part of the Reich. The Anglo-Irish Trade War ends. The Anglo-Irish Trade War, known as the Economic War, though not a real war per se, had a disastrous effect on the post-Great Depression Britain and Ireland. However, the IRE, Confirmation of Agreements Act, has established the end of the war, and now Irish and British industries will benefit from more free trade. Okay, go ahead. They'll give me a higher attack right there. We got other things to worry about. The people of Czechoslovakia have been oppressed for centuries by the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and after its demise, the situation didn't change for the better with the creation of the Czechoslovak Republic. Their people are once more oppressed, but willing to take up arms and declare their independence. Tension within the Czechoslovak state has been growing heavily in the last weeks, and the Slovakian uprising is only a matter of time. So, we'll make it a territory. Question of Carpatho, Ukraine. The Hungarian people have suffered greatly in the Great War, losing most of their territory to the Czechoslovakian state. They've already stated they will press claims in the future, but we can also involve them in our operation now and calm their lust for territory restoration a bit. There is an autonomous movement in Carpatho, Ukraine, seeking to establish independent stuff free from the Czech Republic. Another breakaway state is unacceptable. Either Czechoslovakia or the Kingdom of Hungary should manage that land. It's really just this. So I think we give it to the Kingdom of Hungary. So we're gonna eventually annex this in the first place. Japanese army embraces Nanshinran. The armed forces of Japan have long acknowledged that the Empire of Japan does not possess the natural resources needed for the prolonged war effort. With rising tensions and outbreaks of armed conflict involving the world's major powers, the threat of loss of import seems greater by the day. To counter this, Japanese strategists have come up with a strategic plan to seize Western colonies in Southeast Asia and the Pacific. These research-rich regions will fuel the Japanese war machine and allow it to continue more or less unhindered as long as the continental powers and the United States can be kept at bay. War in Southeast Asia seems likely. All right, we got core HQ increase to give us more organization. I mean, this is tanks. We could get that. And to be honest, that's probably the best bet. Or we can go with more organization. Go with more organization. We got a steel issue. Let's get this all the way up. Let's get it full, and then from there we'll actually go from there. Okay, that's 1942 tech. Get operational support. This should help us a little bit. The end of Czechoslovakia is at hand, and our forces are marching into Prague at this very moment. With the surrender of the Czechoslovakian military, we have liberated vast quantities of armaments. Their tanks in particular should serve our forces well. Bauman will be annexed into Germany as a protectorate, but what should become of Slovakia? They are both ours in the Hungarian sphere of interest now. Long live the 1,000-year Reich. So we add war support. It adds allied anger. Reduce the cost of MIFO bills so we get more political power gain. The military factory construction speed goes up. We obviously annex and become the controller of the states. And then the change over for Slovakia and changes in everything. There's the state of Czechoslovakia. Now, some of the influence is going to go down because of that. What's Eastern claims? I want to get this up as fast as possible. Okay, this is the Great War, so lost much German territory in the east with the resurrection of Poland and the transfer of Memel to Lithuania. An ultimatum shall be sent to both nations, but Poland at least will likely not bow to mere words. Okay. Let's get this. Lessons from the Polish campaign. Memel, Lithuania falls. The Lithuanian government has agreed to our demands, and Memel will be incorporated back into East Prussia. Yet another unlawfully stolen province has been returned to the German nation. I resent that. It was German clay at one point. Go ahead. With German forces on their border poised to attack, Lithuania has given in to the German ultimatum demanding the surrender of the old Prussian territory of Memel. It was passed to Lithuania by the Treaty of Versailles and has now been reintegrated in the region of Ostpreußen. Have we yet reached the extent of German territory ambitions in Europe? Experts are doubtful. Germans everywhere must be united. Equipment. The annexation of Czechoslovakia, we have acquired large amounts of war materials, including trucks, artillery, and small arms. Very useful. Very useful. Where are we at on all of that? Light vehicles is going to be an issue. Transport trucks. We need to boost up transport trucks, I think. Even more. Jesus. Western Yugoslavia, so we'll put the squeeze on them. Truck arms and money were used to support a number of countries that are now need to look to new sponsors. Okay, we'll put the squeeze on them. Jeez, still. Zog submits to Italy. An ultimatum has been delivered to the Albanian government by Italian diplomats, demanding that they submit to complete military occupation. King Zog has abdicated after realizing the futility of resistance. Albania will now be ruled by a personal union under King Victor Emmanuel III. The Kingdom of Italy looks to the Balkans. We don't have enough fighters. form more. Good pride in Berlin. After Czechoslovakia was taken over by Germany, the PZ-35T was adopted by the German army, seeing service in the invasion of Poland, France, and Russia. Production ended in 1942 when its armament was deemed inadequate. In all, over 1,400 were manufactured. The chassis continued to be produced for the Marder III, with some of its components used in the later Jagdpanzer 38 tank destroyers. Turretless assault guns, anti-tank guns, and anti-aircraft guns. The Panzer 38T performed well in the Polish campaign in 1939 and the Battle of France in 1940. It was better armed than the Panzer I and Panzer II tanks. It was on par with most light tank designs of the era. Although it was unable to effectively engage the frontal armor of medium, heavy, and infantry tank designs. But due to shortcomings that the campaign revealed in the organization of the elect divisions, it was reorganized as the 5th Panzer Division in 1939. It's the brief of the 3rd elect division. They formed the 10th Panzer. The 10th Panzer Division was first formed on 1 April 1939 in Prague as a composite formation made up of previously established units throughout Germany. Many of these units were transferred from the 20th Motorized Division, the 29th Motorized Division, and the 3rd Light Division. By the fall of 1939, the division was still forming, but was nonetheless committed to the 1939 invasion of Poland before the process was complete. For that reason, the 10th Panzer Division remained in reserve for most of that campaign. It was moved from Pomerania in August into Poland, where it was hastily given control of the 7th Panzer Regiment, the 4th Panzer Brigade, and several SS units. We'll form it. The 1st Elect Division. So refit here. After Czechoslovakia was taken over by Germany, the PZ-35T was adopted by the German army. A total of 434 were built. Of these, the Germans seized 244 when they occupied Bohemia, Moravia in March 1939. The Slovaks acquired 52 when they declared independence from Czechoslovakia at the same time. Others were exported to Bulgaria and Romania. In German service, it saw combat during the early years of the war, notably the invasion of Poland, the Battle of France, and the invasion of the Soviet Union before being retired and sold off in 1942. It was used for the remainder of the war by other countries as a training tank in Bulgaria into the 1950s. But due to shortcomings that the campaign revealed in the organization of elect divisions, it was reorganized. The 5th Panzer, okay. I'm going to use the Slovakian oil to increase that. The transportation improvements can help us a bit. It's 39. Fortifications. Is there a lot of fortifications over here? Not really. Getting that would be good, because that's going to increase the organization of many of our units. Okay. This is from the Spanish campaign. 124. During this time, I could probably use this to shore up a couple things. Engine factory. Get that. Okay, Infantry Regiment Grossdeutschland. In the months leading up to World War II, while the rest of the Wehrmacht Heer marched into the Saarland, Austria, and Czechoslovakia, the men of Wacht Regiment Berlin marched up and down Unter den Lindenstrasse every Sunday. However, they were not to stay out of the front lines for long. In the first week of 1939, Hitler ordered that the Wacht Regiment be renamed Infantry Regiment Grossdeutschland. The unit was now a permanent cadre, and unlike other regiments of the German army, which were raised from a region, recruits of the Grossdeutschland were drawn from across the nation. The unit was officially activated on 14 June 1939. The occasion was marked by a parade through the streets of the capital. The regiment was being reorganized in September 1939 and did not take part in the Fall of Ice, which is the invasion of Poland. A fact that dented the pride of the regiment, which bore the name of the nation on their sleeves. However, in May 1940, the regiment was attached to General Field Marshal Aldwin von Kleist, Panzergruppe Kleist, and saw combat from the beginning of Fall Glebe, the invasion of the West on 10 May 1940, forming the Regiment Grossdeutschland. Okay, this should be a proper regiment now. I mean, it's a better regiment, I should say. Sniper teams, that's going to help us. Let's get this anti-tank upgrade for our vehicles. How many is that going to be for upgrades? How many we're producing? 51. Yeah, that's going to help us a lot because dispersed goes into this. And that should help us a lot more. Start doing this. Okay. Now we're up all the way on fuel. Let's convert that. Italy pursues closer bonds with Germany. Italy and Germany have expressed many conflicting interests, particularly in Austria and the Balkans. This has not, however, prevented the countries' foreign policies growing from ever friendlier towards each other, and negotiations were underway to the pact that will protect common interests. If negotiations are successful, we could see an alliance that will be able to exert great influence on Central and Eastern Europe. That actually is something I've not seen. Okay, we need to do something that'll increase that. Grab that. Chance of getting sick goes down. Refit the 5th Panzer. With the new Panzer III 4 technologies research, the new Panzer III and 4 comes available with Panzer divisions. Okay. New refit. Yeah, I want to put von Ronstadt as the general there. Okay, that's going to reduce the fuel usage of all with a lot of units. Okay, let's get this ready. This signal company is likely going to help me a lot with this. Do any of these units have hospitals, for example? They actually do. Okay, that will also be helpful. This allows better movement in my units. It's an anti-tank upgrade. Think about what I can put. That would help me sooner rather than later. Who has infantry guns? Well, all the infantry does. Okay. I know it probably sounds like a dumb question, but that is something I need to really think about. Who has the infantry guns? When is it? Okay, 3 days. We'll see if that helps that. Interception. What does the interception actually give? I think it destroys bombers, but it doesn't do this. So it might be smarter to get the Special Forces attack defense. Or Air support mission efficiency. Also, we could do mobilization. Let's do basic bonds. Go warmonger. Warmonger, basic bonds. I want to see where this puts us. Still have negative 26. Damn, okay. Get a conversion speed bonus. We got ahead of time portion for that. That's this engine capacity. We really just need these three built, and then we're there. $50. Put run stat here. And then this is going to be Munstein probably. I need here. I need 19. Sure if I'll have enough. Okay, here. Get diplomatic pressure. If you can't get this. And improve relations. We should be able to get Italy in. Political power. We kind of use that for a rainy day more than anything. And now we're up to possibly calling the war next episode. So thank y'all for joining me. Go leave a like below, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Later.